So I'm here with Clyde Rigney. We're talking about just climate and the impact that climate change has on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Clyde Rigney Jr. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Ngarrindjeri Regional Authority in South Australia.
What is the Ngarrindjeri Regional Authority?
So the NRA, is how we refer to it, is the peak governance body for the Ngarrindjeri Nation. So around 10 years ago, the cluster of Ngarrindjeri community organisations that exist within the Ngarrindjeri community, as well as a number of key committees such as the Ngarrindjeri Native Title Committee and the Ngarrindjeri Heritage Committee, came together and realised that separately they can do some good things, but it would really spread the relationship and the engagement with the government really thin. And so to regionalise, to create one body that could advocate, was seen as a far better outcome for the community.
So you guys then, if you've got the Native Title Committee underneath that, you're obviously advocating for land and country.
Absolutely. So through our Native Title Committee, we've undertaken a process which is about 17 years in the making in terms of applying for a consent determination under Native Title, and so we're on the last leg of that.
Exciting.
Thank goodness. And also with the Heritage Committee tied in as well, is that looks at, particularly within South Australia under the Aboriginal Heritage Act legislation, and how Ngarrindjeri speaks for country, particularly around matters of cultural heritage management.
Do you want to describe your country to us?
Sure. So Ngarrindjeri Yalarui, our sea country, is the lower end of the Lower Murray, pretty much from around, as you get through the Riverland, through Berry and Morgan, you start getting into Ngarrindjeri Roi. So the river going through Murray Bridge, which is the main, regional centre within Ngarrindjeri country, to the lower lakes, that being Lake Alexandria and Lake Albert, around to Gorwa, to the Gorwa Channel, and then to the Coorong, through the Murray Mouth and out to the coast, with our country ending up down at the Cape, across to Kangaroo Island.
So for those that don't know the area particularly well, can you describe some of the characteristics and features? Obviously you've got the river and the ocean.
Yeah.
What else have you got within there that you're...
So we refer to ourselves as water people. We've got rivers, lakes, Coorong, which is an estuary. So the rivers and lakes are fresh water, the estuary, and then the coast, which is Southern Ocean. But within that, a lot of dunes. So you've got the Coorong National Park, which is probably the biggest stretch of native scrub, to have a look at what our country looked like traditionally, then go to the Coorong National Park. But I guess since Ngarrindjeri country has been settled and colonised, it's predominantly agricultural. So a lot of farms, a lot of dairy farms, a lot of dairy flats, irrigation systems, pivot systems, etc.
So in terms of climate change, is that something that Ngarrindjeri are concerned about?
Absolutely. I mean, our stories take us back to when Kangaroo Island separated from the mainland. But climate change, we've seen the impacts on our fish, on our birds, on the breeding cycles of our Ngarrindjeris, and Ngarrindjeris being our totems, or Ngarrindjeri translation Ngarrindjeri is our special friends. So each Laklanjeri, each clan group, family group, has a totem, has a Ngarrindjeri, and a part of that process is managing, or basically looking at the sustainable management of your Ngarrindjeri, or living with your Ngarrindjeri. And through those processes, people have seen over a number of years just how things have changed. The size of the Ngarrindjeris, the number of them. Freshwater soaks in the Coorong, for example, no longer fresh water, salty. So the change to the water table the change to rising sea levels on the coast of Ngarrindjeri. So, yeah, we've definitely lived with and seen the impacts of climate change.
So, what do you see is your role in protecting country now in terms of it being mostly farmland and it's definitely changed since colonisation?
Yeah, look, I guess the saying that we have, Ngarrindjeri have, particularly when it comes to our Yalarui, our sea country, is that our lands and waters are a living body, and that Ngarrindjeri are a part of its existence. And so what that means for us is that we can't talk about our country without talking about who we are. Our identity and country are one and the same thing. And so, when Ngarrindjeri country was colonised, Ngarrindjeri were removed from the country, fence lines were put in, paddocks, were prevalent, everyone was pushed onto the missions or to the fringe camps, access to our traditional foods and way of life completely changed. And that was in an era where Aboriginal people didn't have any rights, Ngarrindjeri people didn't have any rights. So what we do now is we work with our local and state and federal government, particularly in the areas of natural resource management and environmental management, to ensure that our values and our beliefs are incorporated beyond just an acknowledgement of country, but actually are incorporated into the ongoing management of the system.
What are the benefits of having cultural knowledge embedded into the ongoing management?
Well, it really, it challenges the value of cultural knowledge to I guess the way that Western scientists see it. But we utilise a tool called Ngarrindjeri. Ngarrindjeri for us means to speak as country and to speak with authority. And so the way that we bring that Ngarrindjeri context of the way that a healthy system should look like based on our cultural knowledge. So the Department of Environment will have its own health measures and matrix that would say, okay, for a healthy system nowadays it needs to look like this, it needs to look like this, it needs to look like this, its pH needs to be this, it needs to be producing this, etc. Ngarrindjeri goes back to our creation stories. And so we like to feel like we're trying to bring that life back into the system and not just look at it as a resource, but look at it as something that needs to be managed.
And the sense I get is that part of the value of bringing cultural knowledge is bringing in that intimate knowledge you have with your systems to improve its ongoing sustainability.
That's right. I mean, we saw it through the drought. We say if our lands and waters die, we die. Our identity dies with it. And that's something that we need to continue to hold government to account around, because our system is not just something that we use for production. It needs to reproduce. It needs to reproduce life, because that's what our creation stories demand of us.
And the value again is even if you don't value your creation stories and your stories, which obviously as an Aboriginal woman I do, the value is at the very least that it will produce life and be sustainable, and future generations will be able to benefit from that same country.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you want to add about climate change, country, who you are?
Look, I just to quote Annie Ellen Trevorrow, one of her famous sayings that I love is that, and it happened through the weaving process of Ngarrindjeri traditional weaving, is that stitch by stitch, circle by circle, all things are connected. And I think if that's adopted as a management process, I think we'll find that we'll probably have some healthier environments.
And healthier people.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks.
And we're done.